What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. This come up in discussion the other night about who would you rather have, Toews or Crosby. And the bottom line is they both could have been teammates in Pittsburgh. You look back in the 2006 draft after St. Louis drafted Eric Johnson, the Penguins drafted Jordan Staal, and obviously Chicago said thank you very much and scooped up Toews with the number 3 pick. Obviously Johnson and Staal are good NHL players. Neither one's great. Johnson's been a U.S. Olympian before, and Staal, is what he is. And but you look at let's play the hypothetical. The Penguins had invested that pick in Toews back in 2006. I assume it'd go back to North Dakota for a sophomore year. Who knows if the Penguins would have gone back to the playoffs in 2007, which was the year Crosby, Malkin, and Staal all came together. Gino came over that year, 2006. And you look at Staal had 29 goals that year. I believe that's still his career high. Just kind of mind-boggling. But how would the Pens have come together? 2006, 2007. I think had he signed after that year at Dakota, you're looking at him as a third line center behind Sid and Malkin. I think eventually he would have outgrown that role. I think Malkin would have been deemed expendable, and they would have been able to fill in some more assets down the line. You would have had Sid and Toews as your top 2 line centers. So Team Canada would have been playing in Pittsburgh, but it definitely would have been an interesting situation because I think while the 3 of them were together, Toews would have gotten a look on the wing, as would Malkin. I think Crosby's position would have been set. I just think it's such an interesting situation because this is a realistic possibility that could have happened. Now, the other thing that could have happened is St. Louis could have took him, and he would have been on the other side of one of the most intense rivalries in the National Hockey League. So again, he's just such a world-class, amazing player to watch, and he's been a big reason why the Blackhawks have been one of the most successful franchises, not just in sports, not just in the NHL, but in sports on the whole. Since he arrived, 7-8 years ago. This team is on the verge of winning. Has a chance to win its 3rd Stanley Cup in 5 seasons, and it's only 6 seasons, excuse me. And he's only going to, I think this team, even though there will be some changes this offseason because of the aforementioned salary cap problems, they're going to continue to compete. We've seen them go through this before in the past and come out and be able to put a great team on the ice. So again, I think Penguins fans could be looking at yourself going, man, Jordan Staal was good for us for those, what was he in Pittsburgh for 6 years? But if we could have had Toews, who knows? I think they would have 2 cups by now, Pittsburgh. But playing with hypotheticals is always fun. I liked Jordan Staal's first year in the league. Then he had a bit of a sophomore slump, and after that it was like, oh. And by the way, I hate his contract for what that's worth. I think it's ridiculous. I never would have given him $60 million guaranteed over 10 years. But I'm not Jim Rutherford, so is what it is. But I love playing with these scenarios. They're just so much could happen, and that's the beauty of hockey is you never know. How a draft pick's gonna work out. That's why I do so much research on the draft, and there are guys I'm high on that the pros aren't high on, and vice versa. And you can get an Alexander Daigle, number 1 overall, and that a couple years later you can get Pavel Datsyuk in the 7th round. It's just such a. I'm sure Ottawa wishes that was the situation, but it's just such a crapshoot. And again, Staal was a highly regarded prospect, and rightfully so. I mean, he's some of the longest arms I've ever seen in hockey. And Toews took some time to develop. No, he didn't even take time. He was, 54 points in 64 games as a 19-year-old rookie. I wouldn't call that a late bloomer, not by any means. But this Blackhawks team is special, and just think how different it would be had Pittsburgh drafted JT over JS. Definitely one of the bigger what-ifs in NHL history. Not that Pittsburgh's been a bad team, but, just interesting. That's our episode of the Power Play with CJ on how different the NHL would be if Pittsburgh had drafted Jonathan Toews. So 2 more episodes for the playoffs and beyond. Later, guys.